Have you ever thought about what makes a place dry and barren? Why do some areas face extreme dryness while others seem to lush and green? Aridity, the technical term for dryness, isn't just a natural occurrence. It's a product of many interconnected factors, both natural and human made. In this discussion, we'll explore what causes aridity, how it impacts our world, and most importantly, what we can do about it. So grab a cup of coffee or water because this topic will make you appreciate it more. And let's dive in. Before we go too far, let's define aridity in simple terms. Aridity happens when a region receives very little rainfall, leading to dry conditions that makes it hard for plants, animals and even humans to survive. It is not just about deserts like Sahara or the Atacama. Aridity can creep into places that once thrived with life. For example, have you heard of the Dust Bowl in the 1930s? Farmers in the Great Plains of the United States faced severe drought and soil erosion because the land was overfarmed and stripped of vegetation. What followed was a nightmare: massive dust storms, failed crops, and the displacement of thousands of families. It was one of the most significant human made aridity disasters in the modern history. Understanding the causes is like peeling back the layers of an onion. Each layer reveals something new. Climate change is the number one reason why aridity is becoming a global issue. Our planet is warming at an alarming rate. According to NASA, the Earth's average temperature has risen by about 1.1 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century. This might not sound like much, but it has a domino effect. How does it lead to aridity? Warmer temperatures increase evaporation from water bodies like lakes and rivers. At the same time, higher heat sucks moisture out of soil. Without moisture, vegetation struggles to grow and the lands become drier. Take the Sahel region of Africa for instance. This area lies just below the Sahara Desert and was once a lush savanna. But over the past few decades, rainfall has become irregular and temperatures have soared. Millions of people in the Sahel now face hunger and water scarcity because of their farmlands have turned into dust fields. Forests are like giant pumps. Trees absorb water from the ground and release into the atmosphere, where it helps farm crowds and eventually rain. When we cut down trees, whether for agriculture, logging, or urban expansion, we disrupt this cycle. Let's look at the Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the earth. Deforestation here is so rampant that some parts of the forest are now emitting more carbon than they absorb. This is not only impacts the Amazon but also reduces rainfall in surrounding areas, causing aridity to spread. Water is life, but we are not managing it wisely. Agriculture accounts for 70% of global freshwater use, yet much of it is wasted due to inefficient practices. For example, flood irrigation, where fields are flooded with water, often results in evaporation losses of up to 60%. A stark example is the Aral Sea, once one of the world's largest lakes, located in Central Asia. It has shrunk by 90% since the 1960s because its water was diverted for cotton farming. Today, the surrounding region is a desolate wasteland, and the economic and health impacts on the local communities are devastating. Cities are growing faster than ever. By 2050, nearly 70% of the world's population is expected to live in urban areas. While cities offer opportunities, they also bring challenges. Concrete and asphalt surfaces prevent water from soaking into the ground, leading to lower groundwater levels. Take Los Angeles as an example. Decades of urban sprawl have not only increased the city's temperature but also strained its water resources. Residents often face water restrictions, and reliance on imported water is unsustainable. Farming is essential, but some methods harm the land. Overgrazing, monocropping, planting the same crop repeatedly, and excessive chemical use degrade the soil. When soil loses its nutrients and structure, it can't hold water effectively, making the land more prone to aridity. Farmers planted wheat repeatedly, ignoring the need for crop rotation. Combined with a severe drought, this turned fertile land into a barren desert. Alright, so we know what causes aridity, but why should you care? How does it affect your life or the world around you? Let's break it down. Imagine this, you are a farmer and your livelihood depends on your crops, but the rain doesn't come and the soil is too dry to plant seeds. This is the reality of millions of farmers around the world. In East Africa, for example, droughts have become more frequent and severe. In 2022, the region experienced its worst drought in 40 years, leaving over 22 million people at risk of starvation. Without immediate action, food crises like this will only worsen. Water is something most of us take for granted. But for 22 billion people worldwide, access to clean water is a daily struggle. Aridity worsens this problem by depleting rivers, lakes, and aquifers. Remember Cape Town's Day Zero crisis in 2018? The South African city came dangerously close to running out of water. Residents are limited to using just 50 liters per day, about the amount it takes to fill a medium sized bucket. It was a wake up call for the world. Dryness doesn't just hit farmers, it impacts entire economies. In the United States, drought related losses reached $4.5 billion in 2022 alone. Tourism is another sector that suffers. For instance, the Dead Sea is shrinking by about 1 meter per year, discouraging tourists and harming local businesses. Aridity doesn't just affect humans, it impacts wildlife too. Animals that depend on water-rich habitats are being forced to migrate or face extinction. Wetlands, which are biodiversity hotspots, are disappearing. The Mesopotamian marshes in Iraq, once home to unique species, have shrunk significantly due to water mismanagement and climate change. Here's the part where we roll up our sleeves and talk about solutions. The good news, there's hope. The bad news, it will take effort from all of us, individuals, communities, and governments. Farmers can adopt techniques that conserve water and restore soil health. For example, drip irrigation delivers water directly to the plant roots, reducing waste. Israel is a pioneer in this technology. They have managed to grow crops in the desert efficiently. Agroforestry involves planting trees alongside crops, which improves soil moisture and reduces erosion. In Niger, farmers have restored over 5 million hectares of degraded lands by planting trees and using traditional farming techniques. The result, improved crop yields and better livelihoods. Planting trees might sound simple, but it works. China's Great Green Wall project has planted billions of trees along the edges of the Gobi Desert, reducing sandstorms and creating new habitats. On smaller scale, urban green spaces can help cities combat the heat island effect and recharge groundwater. Cities like in Singapore are setting a global example with their rooftop gardens and vertical forests. Rainwater harvesting, desalination, and wastewater management are just a few ways we can manage water better. For instance, India has seen successful community led rainwater harvesting projects that provide water for both drinking and irrigation. Desalination plants, like those in Saudi Arabia, turn seawater into fresh water. While expensive, this technology offers a lifeline for arid regions. Satellites, drones, and AI are changing how we monitor and address aridity. For example, satellites can track soil moisture and predict drought. At the end of the day, aridity isn't just a problem for far away deserts or farmers, it's a global issue. The choices we make today, whether it's conserving water or supporting sustainable products, will determine the kind of world we live for future generations. So let's work together to turn the tide. Whether it's planting a tree, reducing water waste, or simply spreading awareness, every action counts. After all, we are not just saving the land, we are saving ourselves. Heredity is a challenge that affects all of us, directly or indirectly. The more we understand it, the better we can work together to create solutions. So let's keep the conversation going. If you found this video insightful or learned something new, consider sharing it with your friends, family, or colleagues. We would love to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced the effects of heredity firsthand, or do you have innovative ideas or solutions to share? Drop a comment below and join the discussion. Don't miss out on more insightful contents like this. Hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel for updates on how we can all make a difference. Thanks for watching, and remember, small actions, when multiplied by millions, can change the world. Let's be the change. Bye.